in the busy streets of Accra, where the rich build castles in the sky and the humble pray beneath them, a story began, not of poverty and wealth, but of love, ego, and the price of independence. His name was Farouk Al-Hassan, one of Ghana's youngest billionaires. Oil, real estate, luxury cars, you name it, he owned it. But his heart belonged to Amina Suleiman, the daughter of a humble imam in Nima. On the day he visited her home for the proposal, her father, Imam Suleiman, sat with quiet dignity. "Farouk, love is a gift, but my daughter's worth is not measured in gold. Promise me you'll educate her. Make her a woman of knowledge." "I give you my word, Imam. She will have the best education Ghana can offer," and he kept his word. Their wedding, the whole of Accra talked about it. Kempinski Hotel glowed like heaven itself that night. Gold drapes, rose petals, imported perfumes. Every camera turned to the bride, Amina, glowing in a silk gown embroidered with Arabic calligraphy. "Wallahi, this is no ordinary wedding. See the Rolls Royces lined up. Allahu Akbar. Amina is blessed." From Nima to East Legon, what a story. As Amina walked down the aisle, her father whispered, "Remember, my daughter, beauty fades, but wisdom stays." And she smiled, not knowing those words would one day become her salvation. True to his promise, Farouk sent Amina to the University of Ghana for her master's degree. Every morning, he'd drop her off in his black Maybach, teasing softly, "Study hard, Mrs. Billionaire. Someday, you'll run my empire." Amina worked hard. She wanted to prove that she was more than a trophy wife. When she graduated with distinction, Farouk threw a grand dinner at Kempinski, a chandelier glittering night, guests in white agbadas and golden table settings. "To my wife, the beauty with brains." He leaned closer to her and whispered, "It's time for your next chapter. I'll open a business for you, anything you desire." But Amina smiled and said softly, "Habibi, I want to work in an office. I want to earn my own." Farouk chuckles, "As you wish, my queen. But remember, the world out there is not as kind as this home." The next few weeks, Amina dressed in her finest abayas and heels, driving a Bentley to every interview in the city. But none of the companies called back. Farouk watched quietly, amused but patient. One evening he said, "Amina, maybe you should stop arriving in my cars. These people see luxury before they see your CV. Tomorrow, go in a taxi." She laughed. "You want me, Amina Al-Hassan, to take a kiki?" He smiled warmly. "Just try." The next day, she wore a plain hijab and took a kiki to an interview in Osu. A week later, she got the job. Farouk was so proud, he threw a 100,000 Cedis celebration party at home, a feast bigger than her office could ever imagine. One guest muttered, "How much is her salary again?" Another guest, laughing, 3,000 Cedis a month. And that was the first irony. Her entire year's salary couldn't fund the party thrown to celebrate it. At first, everything felt perfect. Amina woke every morning before dawn, prayed Fajr, and dressed in her finest abayas for work. Her perfume filled the hallways of the Al-Hassan mansion. She'd step into her Bentley, wave goodbye to the guards, and glide through the streets of Accra, proud, elegant, radiant. But pride, they say, is a slow poison. One evening, Farouk returned home early. He found her calculating bills at the dining table, her nails freshly done, her face tired. He smiled and sat beside her. Farouk softly, "You're doing well, Amina. I'm proud of you. Now that you're working, maybe you should start taking care of yourself with your salary." Amina, "Of course, my love. That's fair." She said it with confidence, not realizing she had just agreed to a test of her own pride. Weeks passed. Her 3,000 CD salary vanished faster than she could breathe. Fuel, makeup, lunch, small gifts for her parents. It was never enough. Still, she refused to ask Farouk for help. One morning, she spotted a new wig at Palace Mall. Sleek, imported, 2,800 CDs. She smiled to herself, then frowned when she remembered her balance. 400 CDs. Amina muttering, "Independence indeed." On her birthday, Farouk surprised her with a Rolls-Royce Cullinan, wrapped in gold ribbon. Farouk grinning, "For my queen, who insists on working even though she owns half of me." Amina laughed, tears in her eyes. She hugged him tightly, not knowing that gift would become her next burden. Because soon, the insurance, fuel, and maintenance started to pile up. And when she asked for a little support, Farouk, soft but firm. "You're a working woman now, Habibti. Handle your affairs like the boss you are." She forced a smile, but her nights grew longer, her laughter quieter. One evening, after Juma prayers, Farouk presented her with a small velvet box. "Farouk, for you, a reminder that you'll always shine, even when times are hard." Inside glittered a diamond necklace worth 500,000 CDs. Amina gasped. "Amina, it's beautiful, but beauty doesn't feed an empty wallet." A few weeks later, with her bank account nearly empty and pride refusing to let her ask for help, she made a choice. She sold the necklace, quietly, secretly, to a jeweler in Makola. She thought no one would notice, but nothing in Farouk's world goes unnoticed. It was a Sunday evening when the storm came. Farouk walked into their living room, silent, composed, terrifyingly calm. Amina stood up from the couch, nervous. Farouk, cold voice, "Where's the necklace I gave you?" Amina stammering, I kept it safe." Farouk, "Safe? I had the serial number traced." "You sold it," Amina. Farouk, angrily. "You sold my gift. For what? To feed your pride?" Amina, tearful. "Farouk, I was broke. I didn't want to ask you for money after what you said." He turned away, shaking his head. "Farouk, you wanted independence. Now, live with it." He sent her back to her father's house, leaving her with one condition. "Farouk, you'll only return when you buy back what you sold." 2 months passed. Amina stayed in her old bedroom, the one with cracked walls and faded posters from her university days. Her mother would peek in, whispering, "Mother," worried. "My daughter, call him, beg him to forgive you." Amina, sobbing, "Mama, I thought I was doing the right thing. I just wanted to be enough." Sometimes we pray for wings and forget we don't know how to fly. Amina had learned, independence without wisdom is emptiness wrapped in pride.
One Saturday morning, Amina woke with a new strength. She performed her ablution, dressed in a simple white hijab, and told her parents. Amina said softly but firmly, "Mama, Baba, today I'll go see him myself." Her father nodded. Imam Suleiman replied, "Go, my daughter. Pride builds walls. Humility builds bridges." She arrived at the Al Hassan mansion quietly. The guards were surprised but let her in. Farouk was on the balcony, reading. When he saw her, his heart skipped, but his face stayed calm. Amina kneeling slightly, teary. "Farouk, I came to say I was wrong. I let pride guide me when I should have trusted you. If you'll have me back, I'll follow your lead. Open any business for me. I'll work with your wisdom." Farouk looked at her for a long moment. Then he stood, walked to her, and lifted her chin gently. Farouk said, "Habibti, you were never the problem. You just needed to see that love isn't a competition. It's cooperation." He smiled faintly. "Let's build something together." Within a month, Farouk fulfilled his new promise. He opened Amina's Palace supermarket in East Legon, a 2-story marvel with marble floors, gold signage, and aisles that smelled of imported perfumes and cocoa butter. Amina worked daily, not as a wife hiding behind her husband's wealth, but as a woman managing her own empire. Customers adored her. Her staff called her Madam Amina the Kind. Every Friday, she gave out free groceries to single mothers. Every aid she donated to orphans in Nima. Farouk, proudly watching her one evening, said, "See what happens when love and wisdom hold hands." Months later, the world saw a new Amina. She wore confidence like perfume and kindness like jewelry. She drove her Rolls Royce again, but this time she could afford every drop of fuel. Her wigs were from Paris, her handbags from Milan, her perfumes from Dubai, all bought from the profits of her own sweat. She and Farouk began traveling together, London, Istanbul, Marrakech, always side by side, always stronger. In life, independence is beautiful, but when pride hides inside it, it becomes poison. Amina learned that the real meaning of success is not saying, "I did it alone." It's saying, "We did it together." Sometimes Allah humbles us not to break us, but to teach us that strength shines brighter when it stands beside love.